And welcome back to Studio K. I'm sitting here with the lovely members of Dial Tone. How you guys feeling after that performance?
Sweaty.
Yeah.
Sweaty?
Sweaty.
It's real hot in here.
Yeah.
It's real hot.
Under the lights. I like it though.
Yeah, but you're used to it though, I think.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll ever get used to it, but it's definitely coming. It's coming. We're coming to terms with it.
Yeah, definitely. I think any performer has to
Mhm.
at some point. Cool. Well, first things first, I want you to introduce yourself, your instruments, and then I'll have your bandmates do the same.
For sure. Well, my name is Cole Pivic. I play guitar and do backup vocals.
My name is Henning Hansen, and I play the drums.
My name's Daisy, and I play bass and sing.
Awesome. Three-piece. I love it. That's the way to do it.
Keep it simple.
Uh-huh. I love it. Great. Well, let's talk about what we just heard. That first song was Don't Ask, Don't Tell. So all four of these, they're semi-new, right? I mean, you guys don't have any music out yet.
Correct.
But, yeah, and then No Harm was a brand new one.
Yeah.
You played
World premiere out
premiere.
today.
Well,
What a special treat to do it here too.
Yeah, totally. How did it feel playing that for the first time?
It was definitely a little bit scary. You know, we started playing together in September of 2022 and started writing music together. So, like, we're still learning how we can work through this process. And we definitely pushed ourselves with that song. There's a lot of time changes, key changes, weird little chords. So that was like a big goal, is to just make this big song that we're super proud of. So it was a hard one to put together, but we're super proud of it and super happy that we could play it in this awesome space for you guys.
We also finished it yesterday. I don't know if
That's
you
so
mentioned
great.
that. So it's funny how like last minute the song came together because it started like that chord progression. I think I wrote like 4 or 5 years ago, and it just never found the right fit and the right lyrics and words until I met these folks, and then I kind of brought it back up to them. I was like, we were looking for a sad sort of cathartic song, if you will, to write together, and I was like, well, I've been sitting on these chords for a while.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do something with it, and then it turned into that. So it was super lovely.
I think it really complements your other songs too, because I mean, there's some higher energy songs that you played today, and then that one was, like you said, is more cathartic, more emotional, I guess.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, totally. And one thing that I think you guys are fantastic at is that energy, like the ebb and flow of the energy throughout your set. Is that something conscious that you do when you're building a set or just writing songs in general?
Definitely, like we're big on kind of like emotional roller coasters. You know, when we're putting together set lists or like things in the future, like it's a big goal of ours to really take the listener on a journey and go up and down, even just through songs. Like our first song, Don't Ask, Don't Tell, is like the big goal was to just go up and down and have tons of builds and tons of just dropouts where it like feels like it's building to something and nothing happens. So that was just a big goal. Like we definitely think about what the listener's perspective will be of our music when we're writing.
Cool.
And also, like the process of writing these songs, I feel like is very organic for us. I mean, I don't want to speak for you guys, but at least for me, like writing lyrics for songs, I try to stay as authentic to my experience and try to process what I'm going through and navigating the world for myself in the lyrics. So it kind of develops organically. I feel like the natural rises of energy and builds and falls, it kind of just tracks like what we're going through in life, because it's a big time for everyone, you know.
Definitely. Yeah. Awesome. Well, I want to get into your songwriting more in just a minute, but I want to finish this list so people know the songs that you were playing. After No Harm, fittingly, was No Foul.
Correct.
When did you write that one?
That one.
We had been planning on writing a song like that, I think since the beginning, since we were planning on like completing an album. And we had written a couple songs. We were like, okay, we need this type of song, this type of song. We need an angry song, you know? We need a song that releases that inner rage. And so writing that song for me, like writing the lyrics for that song, was very much so about processing some of the less savory characters that I've met in the music scene and just in the world in general. And it's a very cathartic song to play it. It definitely helped me kind of process, okay, this is my place in the music scene, especially as a woman. And, you know, I don't have to care about what other people are doing or what they're saying or how they're treating me. Yeah, that one feels very good to play.
Cool, that's great. So is that one that you wrote after you've been playing out for a little while then, kind of using that experience of being in the scene?
Yeah.
We wrote that one in like March of this
Cool.
year. So we had been playing, we started gigging pretty consistently. December, January was when we really started doing like 8-9 shows a month. And so we definitely had some material to pull from for that song after being that busy.
I bet. And you guys are very busy too. I mean, you play
We've been
all
told,
the time, all the time. All right, so is it kind of overwhelming, or are you loving it? All of those gigs that you're playing.
Yeah, I don't know if the mic picked that up. Daisy said both. I think that is kind of the best and the worst parts of it is like, it's never, I don't know, it's always a hustle. We're always pushing ourselves, and we're always kind of looking for the next thing to try and reach or to try and move forward towards. And at points, it definitely can feel overwhelming. But I think a huge factor that's kind of helped us all stay afloat is each other. And I mean, I wouldn't want to be doing this type of thing with anybody else. So it really it really does make it a special experience, no matter how stressful or how much pressure we're under at any given point.
Yeah, totally. When I've seen you guys live, you seem very comfortable on stage. Do you all have experience performing before Dial Tone? Or is it just the chemistry? You guys just feel comfortable together up there?
I think it's both of those.
Okay.
So we met, I mean, Cole and Daisy actually went to high school together, but they didn't really know each other that well. But like I met these two during welcome week of college, so back in 2021. And we were friends for a year before we started playing together, so we already had that relationship kind of built. But also, like, the three of us are classically trained musicians. We've been doing music for a really long time, so it kind of just was shifting over into like a very different style of music and style of performing. But we're all just having a blast together. It's so much fun to do what we're doing.
Yeah, that's great. Henning, I know that you were a classically trained pianist.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
That's awesome. And so why did you switch to the drums then?
I started, it was like middle school band day, and I just really thought percussion was super cool. So in high school, I like played with my local symphony orchestra and like in the youth symphony, and so I did a lot of the like classical percussion stuff. And then it's also like, well, I guess I can play drum set. Like I can do it in the jazz band, and like I know how to use drumsticks, so it kind of just translated over.
Cool.
But yeah, no, it's so much fun, and it's a very different, like I said, different style, and like I can kind of do whatever I want, which is a welcome change from the rigid structure of like a classical training.
Right. Yeah, totally. And I feel like having a bassist and piano, you can really go anywhere you want because it's all hands on deck for piano.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. Well, so tell me about you guys. What is your classical training?
Yeah. So I'm a classically trained cellist.
Okay.
And
Very cool.
I started playing when I was like 4 years old. I went to a music camp when I was 9 called Girls Rock and Roll Retreat. Sickest camp alive. And I saw bass. I was like, oh, that's 4 strings. I play a 4-stringed instrument. I could probably do that. And here we are today. I've been playing guitar and singing as a soloist since I was about 12. I've been writing songs my whole life. I found like one of my first songs that I ever wrote when I was like, again, 4 years old, and I made my mom write it down. And it's like this goofy little song because I didn't know how to write. But yeah, I've been performing like solo for years and years, and it's really, really fun to be able to play with these guys and play with other really talented artists and build up energy and feed off of their energy. It's a really rewarding experience.
Yeah. Do you have any of those songs that you wrote when you were in like your preteen years? Have you ever like pulled anything from that to be used for some dial tone material?
A little bit. The first song that we ever played together, after we had finally been like, we're all musicians, we should get together and play together sometime. I introduced this one song that I wrote when I was like 16, 17, and it worked really well when we played it. It was our first time ever playing it together, and we like came up with the arrangement pretty much instantaneously, and it sounded great. We don't play it anymore because we've kind of evolved past that, and I'm really focused on we're all really focused on collaborating and creating music together that kind of speaks to all of our shared experiences and speaks to the sound that we create as a band. But yeah, I've pulled a couple like choruses, like melodies from some of my older music, and
Cool.
it's fun.
Awesome. Cole, I want to give you a chance to talk about your personal music background.
I started playing guitar when I was on the younger side. I think I started taking lessons when I was 6 through the Lake Harriet House of Music.
Cool.
And when I came to 5th grade, I believe, I started a band with some of my friends. We were called 612 Live. And it was really fun. The drummer's dad threw an alley party every summer, and that was kind of our one true show that we'd just all year keep working up for, and we were pretty terrible to begin with.
Gotta start somewhere.
I opened for Cole's band 612 Live as a soloist at like Lindale Open Streets, Nicollet Open Streets.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that was before we really knew each other.
We didn't talk at all. I was just like, who's this girl playing like REM with her acoustic guitar? Like, that's rad. But yeah, so 612 Live kind of carried through senior year of high school, and from that point I started studying classical, started studying jazz, ended up playing in the jazz band here for a little bit.
Oh yeah?
And it was a super fun time.
Combo or the big band?
Big band.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Big band. It was super cool. And then we kind of decided to start jamming and hanging out, and it's turned into one of the best things in my life.
That's great.
It's really cool.
And it's really taken off too. I mean, like you said, your first show was on Halloween, right?
Yeah.
And since then, you guys have blown up in that short period of time. You're a popular name in the cities. Is that something that, did you anticipate that rapid growth?
Not at all. No, we really when we started, we really just focused on just having fun, and that was kind of our core motivator throughout the first few months, and it still is. It hasn't been lost on me how absolutely bizarre some of the opportunities that we've gotten this early in this band's career, and we're so grateful to all the bands and bar owners and stage managers that have ever let us play or play with them. It's been absolutely surreal.
Yeah, totally.
I think it also speaks to the vibrancy of the underground music scene in Minneapolis, just how many different venues that we've been able to play at, and the support that we've gotten from other bands and hosts, and just it's a really wonderful experience to be so welcomed into this really cool community of talented people, talented artists. So I credit a lot of it to the support from the Minneapolis music scene, for sure.
Totally. And I think just the scene in general, the history of the scene, this is kind of something that I wanted to talk about with you guys. You come from a long line of great like grunge, like alt groups in Minneapolis. Tell me about like some of the Minneapolis groups specifically that have really inspired you and your sound.
For sure. Well, it's kind of funny you mentioned that, because one of our driving influences that we try to really emphasize and emulate is kind of the history of the Minneapolis alternative grunge rock indie scene over the past 50 years, pulling from the Replacements, the Suburbs, a little bit of Prince, Husker Du, Hippocampus, and even just like the newer people that are like all of a sudden blowing up right now, like Why Not and Hearts of Gold. It's just like, it's so cool to see these types of people like really properly making it. And so just kind of pulling from all those different artists and watching ourselves grow as we've watched the music scene grow.
Yeah.
And one thing we've also done to really try and pull from these groups as much as we can, like we almost exclusively play covers from bands out of Minneapolis. And it's really cool, like when we're writing a song, we like try something and we're like, that's it. And we realize like, oh, we pulled this from this Husker Du song way back in the day that we covered like a couple months ago. And so it's been really cool to kind of like, as we're putting together our music, to see all of these influences from the Minneapolis alternative music scene, because like it really was one of the main birthplaces of alternative rock and grunge rock. And it led to the big like revolution in the 90s. So I think it's really cool that we get to take inspiration from that and put it together into what we like for our sound.
Yeah.
Stand on the shoulders of giants.
Definitely. Lots of giants coming out of Minneapolis, for sure.
Tons.
What's like your favorite cover that you guys have done from a Minneapolis group?
Ooh, I'm curious
That's
to
a-
hear what you guys say.
I know. Okay, I have an answer.
Um,
One time we only played it once, and it was at Fulton Brewery, and we did a Prince song off, I think it was a self-titled album, and
The early one.
yeah,
Wow.
we did Bambi, and I was just so
That's a
drawn.
deep cut. That is
yeah,
a deep
that
cut.
was a.
Wow.
Cole sang for this one.
I sang in my beautiful falsetto, and it was crazy. There's probably like 30 people there, and I was just trying to channel my my inner purple one, and it it was really fun actually. The lines and everything in there, it was super cool. Do you have an answer?
My favorite is "Don't Want to Know If You're Lonely" by Husker Du. My mom is a big Husker Du fan, so I remember hearing it back in the day when I was a little kid and like listening to her play all of her alternative music. So being able to play that, I know she came up to First Ave back in the 90s and 80s to watch these groups. So it was cool to play that, and she was there for one of the shows where we played.
Nice.
So that was awesome.
Nice.
well, Henning stole my answer. And yeah, I love it because it's one of the songs that my mom played for me. My first two CDs that I ever got from my mom was Husker Du and the Ramones.
Oh, cool.
So, you know, I've just like been listening to that song for ages, and it was great to be able to play it. But hearing Cole sing Bambi is definitely a highlight of this whole experience of being in a band. That was my favorite thing ever.
I love that pick. That's such a great pick. I did not expect that of all the Prince songs.
No,
I'm glad you went with that one.
It was very last minute too. I think I was like just going through that entire album when I was driving to band practice, and all of a sudden that came on. I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, how have I never heard this?" And so I came to practice. I'm like, "Listen to this. We're
Yeah.
playing it." And I think we learned it that day and played it at the next gig.
I love it. I love it. Great. All right, we're getting to time, so I got to get to the important questions now. Not that the rest were not important, but yeah. So finally, we didn't even get to this. Your last song that you played, Bad Word Cup. I can't say the word.
For
Can't
lack
say
of
the
a better
word.
term.
You can look it up yourself. But yes. So that was the 4 songs. Are these songs a part of a release that may be coming out sometime soon?
Short answer, yes. We've been spending a lot of time in the studio lately. And I know it looks like we've been less busy and playing less shows, but it's because we're
No,
busier
it hasn't looked like that.
than we ever have been. But yeah, we're working on a couple singles that will release hopefully this summer.
Great.
End of August. And we've got a really big project that we've been working on for a while now. So stay tuned.
Okay. No date for that one yet? Or
No dates.
no dates? No dates. No
It's
season?
it's a long DIY process.
Can I get a season, maybe estimated season that it will come out in? Okay.
Late fall, winter
Okay.
is the goal.
I'd say before 2024.
Okay.
We'll ring in the new year with something else, but
All right. And the singles are teasing that big project, or is it separate?
correct.
Correct. Okay. Awesome. Fantastic. I also know that you have merch out now. Is that correct?
Yeah, this is true. Our friend Gabby Weld, who currently lives in Chicago, did all the designs based off a photograph that my friend Alec took. So shout out to both of them. And yeah, they're super cool, super cute. Everyone looks super great in them. And we also have we have shirts, baby tees, tote bags, and
You have baby tees?
Yeah,
I think they're sold out.
they might be sold out. But yeah, it's super cool, and it's really terrifying to be at a show and then stand behind someone who's wearing your shirt and you're looking at a pink and purple version of yourself. But it's super cool, and we're running low on the first one, so not to give any big spoilers, but get it while it's hot. We're hoping to drop something new soon.
Cool. Awesome. And then live performance. How about some shows coming up? What's going on with you guys?
Yeah. So this Sunday, the 25th, we're headlining a show at the Amsterdam in St. Paul. And then we're taking some time off to really dive more into recording. July 29th, I believe, we're going to be playing at the Underground Music Festival. We're super excited for that. It's a really cool lineup. And then we have a show at the Green Room on July 26th, I believe. And then end of the summer, we're going to be playing at the 7th Street Entry with a couple awesome bands from Minneapolis. So we're kind of taking a little bit of a step back this summer so we can really dive into the recording process. But we have some really cool shows that we're really excited about.
Awesome. Wonderful. Fantastic. I love it. Okay, last question for you. This is the fun question.
This is the deep cut
that I was holding from you. Okay. I want you to build a dream bill for yourself. You play on it. You get to play on it, but you get 3 other groups, artists, dead or alive, that play with you.
Dead or alive.
Since usually that makes it easier for people, but maybe it's not. I don't know.
Should we each pick a band?
Yes, I think that's the best way to do it.
I was gonna say that.
I was gonna say that's what you were gonna.
Or Imagine Dragons. Sorry, I really am confident they're not listening, but just in case.
You never know. Right?
You never know. Imagine Dragons.
You could have just lost a fan.
No, I knew I was gonna get in trouble somehow. I'm gonna go with the easy answer and say Prince.
Nice.
That would just be unbelievable.
It would.
I think either Blondie or Patti Smith for me. I think that would just be so fun. I also just want them to I just want to talk to them. I just want to talk to them.
Maybe like
I just want to fangirl.
Yeah, totally. So they're playing together or
yeah.
Cool.
If possible.
Because we only have 3 slots to fill. So
Okay.
We're starting to cheat over here.
I would go with a classic Minneapolis group. I'd go with Hippocampus. I know
Okay.
Daisy's going to see them tomorrow, which I'm very jealous of. But I think they're a really cool group that's come out of Minneapolis that has really kind of broken into this mainstream thing, and they've like created this new really cool sound. So I think it would be awesome to share the stage with them.
great. And what stage are we playing on? What venue are we at?
Red Rocks.
Classic.
Easiest answer.
I love it. Hippocampus just sold out Red Rocks, didn't they?
I know.
Yeah.
We'll need to add some more rows of seating or something.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in, Dial Tone. Really appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Yeah, totally. All right. We're going to kick it back to the DJ booth for some local music until 5 p.m. Please stick around for that. This is Radio K, Real College Radio.